The Alpha Sessions with Ron Laver.
Welcome to today's Alpha Sessions. With me is Jenny Colquitt. Hello, Jenny.
How you doing, Ron? Thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. I'd like to start off by congratulating you, which I think are due, just hot off the press. You've been awarded top female vocalist by Folk magazine for Taya. And that was just literally overnight, wasn't it?
Yeah, last night it was one of those things that I just didn't expect to happen. When I found out I was even nominated, I was just like completely just amazed. And I remember just like running around the house like I've been nominated, because it's like, for me, I've always kind of looked up to a lot of the people who have won this award or won similar awards in the past. And so last night, yeah, I found out that I'd won Best Female, and I was just like, wow. So yeah, literally last night.
Congratulations on that, and certainly well deserved from what I've heard of your music. I'm interested that it's a folk magazine, and how do you describe your music?
Yeah, so I mean, I do have a lot of sort of strings to my bow, which is kind of why it's even more of I think, a special thing that I've won this award, because it is a very traditionally folk award. But my music, I always kind of put it into a few little different boxes, because I do have different styles of writing. So I always kind of say folk Americana, pop with a little bit of a rock aspect as well. But it's singer-songwriter overall, you know. I think it's quite easy to sort of try and fit into a genre, but my music, different songs tend to fit slightly more into different genres. The album is very much a mixture of various different genres, like I've just described. So yeah, it's quite a tricky one, really. I think I'm quite a mishmash. I always say I'm a patchwork quilt.
I think what I like about all those genres is, and it's certainly there in your music, is a passion and music that seems to have been written with an emotion.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think the best way to describe it would be sort of singer-songwriter category or genre, or storyteller. I really like storyteller, because I do try and tell as many stories through my songs as I can. And passion, absolutely, yeah.
So tell us something about yourself. You're in the Northwest. Widnes, is it you live in?
Widnes, yeah, which is kind of in between Liverpool and Manchester. A lot of people are from like the south who have a lot to do with like this kind of country Americana folk scene. And I kind of stick out like a sore thumb a little bit up here in the Northwest, I think, and it's a little bit trickier to get recognition. So that's something that being online has really helped me sort of get in these little places where you would never have been. I've never would have been found and nominated for any awards or anything like that if it wasn't for the internet at the minute. And the Northwest kind of, there isn't as much of a scene for that kind of.
You're going to sing some songs for us today. One of them is a track that you released last year as a single, I think, called Dirty Town. Is this anything to do with the town you live in, or is it just a deeper meaning than that?
Well, definitely a deeper meaning. It started off not related at all to the town. Town just happened to rhyme well and fit in as a lyric. You know, when I first wrote the song it's ultimately about negativity and kind of escaping people who tell you that you can't do things, and that wasn't in any way written about my hometown. But as the song progressed and as it became more open to interpretation, and as I was starting to think about the release and the music video, it kind of felt natural to kind of take it down that path of it being about being from a working class town and wanting to break out and do something that not a lot of people do, you know. Like I say, kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
You know, not many people, you know, want to become a musician and want to fulfill music dreams, you know. So yeah, it became a little bit more about the town as it went on, but actually kind of through the process of writing the song and the release process and creating, because the music video has a lot to do with it. I like to be quite visual with the way I present music as well.
And it appears to have been filmed.
Yes.
Some of the outside shots appear to be, local to where you are.
Yes, literally in my hometown and the town next to me.
Right.
And again, that was just because it was so much easier for me to film, obviously, where I am. But yeah, so as that journey of the song, as it became an entity in itself, it became a little bit more about the town. But through the process of that, I actually learned that perhaps the opinions that I'd had in the past were completely wrong. The thoughts that, everyone thinks that you're doing the wrong thing, and you shouldn't be living out your dream, and you shouldn't even be thinking about the dream. It became clear to me just during the process. Like I put out like a call for extras for the video, and my local music club. There's a place where I'm from in Widnes called the Studio, and it's where like all young musicians go, and it's kind of bohemian, and it's like really artistic, and everyone really just clicks when you're around that place. And it was lottery funded. I'm not sure if it still is, but a lot of them came and they were in my video, and I felt so terrible because like I'm writing this song, and it's become this thing of it being this dirty town and all these horrible people, and look at what's happened. All of these people have showed up and they want to be in my video and they want to support me. And through that, it became this like lesson for me of, don't, but again, it didn't start out like that. It just became that. The song, when I wrote the song, it was literally just about escaping. And if you listen to the lyrics, it's about, we'll make a wooden boat and we'll sail it out. We'll get away from all of these thoughts. But it wasn't specific to the town at the time. But it became a little bit more about the town, and then again taught me that lesson of, where you're from. It doesn't matter where you're from. You can do what you want. Believe in yourself, and also believe in the people around you that love you and support you for who you are and what you want to do. I'm wasting time catching all these butterflies stuck in my mouth. The words I wanna say to you ain't getting out, and I lose my mind. The senses in my body take me way up high. I feel it in the ground in every single life. Walking past my window in the dead of night. Let me out, away from all the feeling in this dirty town. We'll make a wooden boat so we can sail it out. I'll never let them see me turn round. You found your voice, but no one wants to hear it, baby, make a noise. Sit and be quiet. There's a corner over there for you to try. But you've lost your mind. The faces that surround you get you every time. You medicate the pain, but it's just sitting tight. You wake up from a dream and you are still alive. Let me out, away from all the feeling in this dirty town. We'll make a wooden boat so we can sail it out. I'll never let them see me turn round. Hear me shout, we'll take it to the roof so you can hear it loud. A million little voices make a pretty sound, but they will never let their head down. Dirty town. Dirty town.
know some way we'll find the right solution to this hurt someday. Let me out, away from all the feeling in this dirty town. We'll make a wooden boat so we can sail it out. We'll never let them see me turn round. Hear me shout, we'll take it to the roof so you can hear it loud. A million little voices make a pretty sound. They won't ever let their head down. Dirty town, dirty town, dirty town, dirty town, dirty town.
The Alpha Sessions with Ron Laver.
My original music career really has only started really at the beginning of the lockdown. I had released an EP in 2016, but that was kind of just a bit of an experiment. I wasn't taking it seriously at all at that time. And then there was a large break while I was at university and I got a job. But prior to that, you know, and throughout that time, I've just been singing covers in pubs, you know, like a lot of so many thousands of musicians do. And, you know, the amount of people that don't listen and they're just and you know, they're there for a good time. And of course you don't expect everyone to be like watching you the whole time. But then when you go into from gigs like that and you go into play, you know, supporting the likes of Merry Hell on tour and the Christians and everybody is, you know, listening to every single word you perform and of your original own music. It's, you know, you go from that to singing Mustang Sally to 3 people at the bar that don't even know you're there. You know, that feeling comes from that's where that kind of came from.
Yeah. So what sort of music did you grow up listening to? What were your influences really?
Yeah, so a lot of it came from my dad. So he had a fantastic taste of music. So it was things like REM, Stereophonics, Squeeze, people like that. And then you've got all like the powerhouse rock chicks who I've always looked up to, and I'll never escape that from myself. You know, people like Alanis Morissette, Pink, Avril Lavigne. She was a massive influence on me. You know, all of these big powerhouse female singers who, you know, really stand for being a woman and stand for being powerful. And then, yeah, the more acoustic-y type stuff like REM. And then more recently, I'm absolutely in love with people like Joni Mitchell, Sandy Denny. One of my favorite singers at the moment is called Foy Vance. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. He's kind of, he's pretty big, but he's, you might not have heard of him. You know, he's kind of at that level. But if you listen to him, his voice is just so melodic and passionate, and music like that where it really kind of tells a story through the voice. You know, you can't understand his lyrics, I don't think, but it doesn't really matter because his voice just tells a story. And yeah.
That's interesting because you were running through all those names and thinking, yeah, well, I can see the influence there. You know, because a lot of your music does fall into that sort of powerhouse ballad type thing, you know, and again, that's where I was talking about the emotion coming from, but then you said more recently, and you skipped back to Sandy Denny and Joni Mitchell, you know, which is like, I thought you were gonna, at that point, you name people I'd never heard of, because you know, I'm not that up to date sort of thing. Like, you know, obviously my musical influences come back from those days, you know, Sandy Denny and Joni Mitchell. So how were they always around in the background, or have you only just recently got into those artists?
Well, I kind of went backwards a little bit because so like the likes of REM and those, I listened to them when I was younger because my dad had them. but then he didn't. I don't really remember him listening to Sandy Denny and people like that. These have come since I've been online, putting myself out, and Eva Cassidy. I do like Eva Cassidy. Well, I'm a massive fan of Eva Cassidy. And these kind of people were introduced to me kind of more recently by a lot of people who have watched me and gone, oh, you should do this song, or you should go back and listen to that whole album. And then I've done that, and I've brought a lot more kind of folky aspect into my writing, but also sticking with that other kind of, like you say, power ballad, emotional kind of music as well. So yeah, I've kind of gone backwards a little bit. I've been educated by a lot of my followers into the people who I might have a little sound of. I did a video of a cover of Fields of Gold on YouTube, and it went kind of crazy online. And from that's when I sort of fell in love with the folkier, bluesier, soulful kind of sounding female artists, and that's when I started listening to them. But yeah, Sandy Denny, I'll be honest, I hadn't really even heard of Sandy Denny until probably about a year and a half ago, and I'm obsessed now.
You've got a tour coming up.
Yeah.
Is this one that was sort of, because most people say, yeah, well, I had this planned in 2019, but it sort of had to be postponed. Is this one of those, or is this something that you've really just kicked off for the first time now?
So not at all. So this, like I say, my original music was really taken off in the last 2 years since the pandemic, because I've been live streaming up to 4 times a week, putting myself online in various different places. So my original, like the whole album and even the EP before that, were very much inspired and supported by the people who have met me in the last couple of years. So I didn't have any tours planned prior to that. Like that wouldn't have been a thing that I would have thought about doing. And really, even now, because I've not had this wealth of live experience singing original music, this is kind of a small tour, various places in the UK, testing the waters. Don't get me wrong, the tickets are selling really well, so I'm very happy about that. But yeah, it's very much like, your album's out, I want to do a little tour, see how things go, because like I say, it's a complete contrast to just all of your fans being online, to now, like, let's see who's going to come out and see me in these different places in the UK. So yeah, it's a bit of a, this tour is a little bit of a taster for what hopefully will become a long touring career for me, which is what that's the dream. But yeah, it's kind of just 5 dates. The first one being in my hometown, because that's that, in the studio, the place I was talking to you about before. So it's a bit of a tester. Yeah, it's not going to be this crazy huge thing, because I don't want to put too much pressure on everybody coming out and seeing me. But yeah, also because everyone's so spread out as well. Like a lot of my followers are in America as well. So yeah.
So I mean, let's just give that a plug. I mean, you say you're starting in Widnes, which is at the end of January on the 29th.
Correct.
And on the 10th of February, you're in Bracknell in South London.
Yes.
And then you come up to Stoke.
Stoke is the 13th. And February is, and Leeds is the 17th. So yeah, a lot of it's kind of around that time in February, so the 10th, 13th, 17th, 18th.
That's a decent spread around part of the country anyway.
Yeah, and I do have a lot of other gigs in and around as well, but they're not headline gigs, so I have quite a few support slots as well. And some dates haven't been announced just yet. But so I've got quite a lot of dates, but in terms of, these are the 5 main headline gigs where I've got somebody else supporting me or joining me.
Let's have another song from you now. That you've off your album, which was released back end of last year, I think, wasn't it? September time?
Yeah, the 26th of November it was.
November. God the Father.
Yeah.
Tell me what this one's about.
So yeah, this is the only track on the album that was pretty much recorded live. So when I say that, the piano and the vocals were both recorded at the same time. And then there was just like some strings added afterwards. So yeah, this track it's about my relationship with faith and learning how to believe and learning what I do believe in and what I don't believe in. It's just about that whole kind of journey for me, which has been quite a recent thing. I've met some beautiful people online, and I've in the last couple of years, and I've really delved into how good humanity is, and yeah, it's quite a deep song, and yeah, that's the story of the song. It's called God the Father.
I've been told, I've been saved from my own home. This is freedom, and I know it's getting harder. I don't know now, I don't know how your face, it takes the place of everything that I know. And I know you got the Father and you hold me so close, but I can't erase the paintings from the walls of my home. I've been told I'm not able. Truth be told, I'm not stable, and I know it's getting harder. I don't know, no, I don't know how your face, it takes the place of everything that I know. And I know you got the Father and you hold me so close, but I can't erase the paintings from the walls in my home. And I've been told forgiveness is a part of you that helps move you on, but I don't know. I understand religion, but I can't let this go. And I know you got the Father and you hold me so close, but I can't erase the paintings from the walls in my home.
The Alpha Sessions with Ron Laver.
Lockdowns that we've all been involved in and
Yeah.
have stopped so many artists performing live
Yeah.
seems to have been for you almost a kickstart for your career, or a kick to push you further along your career.
Absolutely. It's been a journey. So I almost see it as like one of those math equations, when you're in primary school and you put one thing into the robot, you jumble it all up and then it comes out the other side. Well, for me, it's kind of like I went into this lockdown as someone who'd sort of almost given up on original music and just kind of stuck in the pub scene. And then I basically what happened is I did a live stream online. It was meant to just replace my open mic night that I run. It was every Wednesday. It was just like online, and it just went crazy. And it started bringing people in from all sorts of places, and then as it gradually started going on and on and on, it became I was like live streaming 4 times a week, but people started loving my original music. and I'd almost forgotten about it, you know, like I'd kind of come in just thinking, oh, I'll just sing Ed Sheeran songs and people like it a little bit and I'll make people a bit happy. And it became this, I am now pushing my original music, and don't get me wrong, I still do sing covers because I still love that. But it jumbled up my career and hopefully has brought it out the other side, this new found artist and songwriter. And I've written over 30 songs in the last 2 years. And I've just become, I'm very grateful for the time. Obviously, it's been hell for so many people. And I do, you know, often think how lucky I've been. I've been not been affected by it. I do work in the NHS, so I know the effect and the impact it's had on the country. But outside of my working day-to-day job, I can't lie, it's been a whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind of just becoming this, what I've always wanted to be, you know, an original music and original songwriter.
Do you think then it's here to stay? We're going to have performers still doing the online shows effectively?
I think so. From my experience, it would be kind of crazy for me to stop, because you find new people so easily online. And then people go, oh, wow, I saw your online concert. I've bought your album and I'm coming to see you in Stoke. And this is how this is now the process, the conversion, you know. And don't get me wrong, I'm always going to do online because I love it. What I really like about performing online is I'm performing from my home. I'm being just who I am. And it gives people that little bit of insight of, you know, behind the artist a little bit. And I guess I'm going to be one of these new breeds of artists that have a bit of both. And I definitely want to push both sides. I want to tour and I want to do online. Almost like I want online to be like the day job, and then the real life gigs to be like, that's the dream, you know. So yeah, a bit of both. And I think you're right. I think there's going to be this new, I mean, if you think about the internet and how it's changed society, especially in the last couple of years, there's going to be this high. I think we might even find like hybrid gigs where we have a performer, you know, in front of you, but also the gig being live streamed, and tickets can be split between the two amounts, and there's an endless amount of money to be made in the music industry that way as well, you know, because there's no shortage of seats online. You know. But yeah, I mean, also like I crowdfunded my whole album online as well, and 3 music videos. I wouldn't have been able to do that. So I feel like I'm finding that nice balance of how to push my career, both in real life and online. It's going to be like this hybrid career, hopefully. But I don't know. We'll see what the future brings.
Yeah. Do you ever write with anyone else, or do you write completely on your own?
So in terms of my album and my solo EPs and singles, they have all been written 100% by me. Some of the production aspects, in fact, on the album, quite a lot of the production aspects were changed. For example, one of the songs called Shape on the album started off as just a piano ballad, but it became kind of a driving pop track on the album. So Dave had a lot of influence on that. But in terms of the what we call the track, the lyrics, the chord progressions, and the melodies, that's all me. I am also part of a band as well, a separate project, and most of the tracks are written 100% by me, but the band do bring in lots of elements as well. Some tracks is written more in a group environment, but that's very new to me and something that's quite tricky. I'm still learning that process of working with other musicians, but that's another thing that's happened in the last couple of years. So it's been like one huge learning curve for me.
Yeah, because I can't imagine the music that you produce, the songs that you write. They would, because I keep going back to this about the passion and the emotion in them.
Yeah,
that's got to be personal, hasn't it?
Yeah, very personal. All of my songs are right from the center of my heart. So I would struggle, I think, to write. I mean, I don't want to kind of say that I'm very excited, hopefully in the future, especially with this publishing opportunity, to do some collaborations. but I feel like the music would be a little bit different, in a bad way, just in a different way. Like you say, the tracks that I've got out now, they are very much like personal songs to me, and almost to my audience as well. You know, the audience has just as much influence on me as anything. But yeah, I don't think I could have wrote like Something Beautiful. I mean, I wrote that song in like 15 minutes at home, you know, and I do write very much like all in one, like it's like a big process that just happens, you know. I wouldn't have chance to be like, oh, quick, I need a new chord structure or something, you know. It wouldn't be that.
Yeah. You mentioned your band there. You're the lead singer in the band, and the band are called Eli.
Yeah.
And how does that work for you, having those two strings to your bow? Does the band allow you to be a little bit more, I don't know, rocky on stage?
Oh yeah, that's what it is. So that's exactly what it is. I've always been a fan of a bit of rock. And I mean, when I first started the band, that was actually a little bit prior to the lockdown, but then it became more of a project throughout the lockdown, especially in the last sort of 6-7 months. So we have an EP out called Black Smoke, and it's like shredding guitar solos, and but it's still very much Americana and still very much storyteller based. So it's kind of like this hybrid music, really. It's got all of the a lot of the songs I wrote, and again, the kind of personal songs, like for example, the title track Black Smoke, that's written about COVID, and it's Black Smoke is with reference to coronavirus, and that's about like how the younger generation probably gonna have to learn to live with it, but we need to be this sort of, well, not just COVID, but moving forward in society, you know, life has changed and we're gonna have to learn to be a little bit more robust and expect change at any point. And the song is about like being that spark in the forest of, you know, we can do this, we can get through this, and we can make life great for us, you know, like what we've just chatted about a little bit of, we've got to take the situation that we've got, like being stuck indoors, and we've got to go, right, I'm going to get the camera out, and I'm not going to let not playing at, you know, live stop me from making something out of myself. So that's what that song's about. Again, a very personal song to me, but when I took it to the band, it became this huge rock track, and at the end it almost goes into like The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. So yeah, it's a beautiful creation, I feel. And we're actually in the studio tomorrow doing a track called Alone, which is it's about mental health in younger people, and about how we need to, you know, sometimes we want to be alone, and the pandemic has made us almost have to be alone. But about, you know, we sometimes want to be alone, but at the same time we don't really, you know. It's a journey of life, and all of my songs are written about something that's personal to me or personal to somebody that I know. But yeah, with this rocky element, and then when I get on stage, I can rock out and just not really care what anyone thinks. Where I think sometimes when you're doing just piano and vocal, it's kind of scary. It's the scariest thing you'll ever do, just be on a stage just singing with piano and vocal or piano and guitar. There's no room for error, you know. So it's a little bit different. It's a challenge in a different way, because obviously we all have to be on wavelength with each other. You know, I can't play a different chord to somebody else, where I might have been able to cover that up a little bit on my own. But yeah, it's been really fun. So basically, yeah, last year I released an album, and then I released an EP, and then like a couple of weeks later I released an album, a solo album. So it's been mad. Oh, I don't know why I did do it to myself, but
okay, well look, it's been fabulous talking to you. I've really enjoyed this. I could go on forever, but I'm conscious of keeping you, and just tell people where they can find information about you. Where can they find you on the web, on your socials, etc.?
Yeah, so my website is jennycolquitt.co.uk. Don't get confused with .com. I'm trying to get that one taken down. That's my old website. So that's where you can find all the information about tickets and things, and who I am and all that kind of stuff. But my main kind of social media platform is Facebook and Instagram. And I'm also getting a bit better on Twitter as well. So my name is Jenny Colquitt, Colquitt. I'm pretty much that on most social media platforms. I don't think there's many of me. There's not many people with the surname Colquitt. So yeah, if you just, I'm also on YouTube. I do live streams on YouTube, and that's where all my music videos are, as well as from the past, a lot of covers and various things as well. So yeah, if you just Google Jenny Colquitt, most things just come up straight away.
Okay, can you, before you go, we're going to hear Something Beautiful, which was the title of your album, and also a single from it at the back end of last year. Tell me what this song's about.
So yeah, Something Beautiful is it's basically a more positive version of Dirty Town. So it's about the same thing. It's about fulfilling who you are and really taking that leap to be able to do what you want to do, and recognizing that belief as being something beautiful. So yeah, it's just about escaping, and you know, one of the lyrics is, if this is the edge, then I'm going to fall, I'll fly away from it all. So yeah, it's the bookend of the album. It started with Dirty Town, that really set the tone, and then Something Beautiful, it ends on that, and I guess it leaves you hopefully wanting to know what's next.
Congratulations again on your award. Well done.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for having me, Ron. It's been lovely.
Was it something I said? Is it my fault? Will anyone hear me the day that I fall into my head, away from it all? Are you happy to see me walk down this road? But I know I'm meant for better now. Waiting to fall into your head. You feel at home. Did somebody tell you to walk down this road?